Do you like this room? Well, it's yours now. Your old room has one too many issues, including being too far from mine. So unfortunately, you will have to bear the mess until renovations are complete. It was a little difficult to decorate on such short notice, but I can have some changes made. The wallpaper could be replaced with something more lively. Maybe some flowers on the nightstand? Your clothes will be given to you as needed. There's no point in cluttering your room any further. A wardrobe isn't necessary when I will be the one choosing for you. And the fewer hiding spaces available to you, the better. I once thought our groundskeeper was too dense to bother looking through your old wardrobe whenever he couldn't find you. But having seen some of the old rags in there, I suspect he couldn't handle the eyesore. Then again, he was moronic enough to chase you across the bridge over the moat, even after all the times I told him that it could give at any moment. But seeing how popular you've been with the residents of the mansion, maybe you were just so irresistible. Enough to die for. Clearly, it wasn't a one-time occurrence. On one hand, I don't appreciate that your actions have directly forced my staff into permanent retirement. It takes quite a bit of effort to maintain an estate this size. It's one of the reasons you aren't getting your perfect bedroom in a timely manner. On the other hand, I say good riddance to anyone who thought it was in their right to do whatever they pleased with you, especially when it's something I don't approve of. Your personal maid always seemed to choose the worst possible outfits to dress you up in. Any fabric lined with needles couldn't possibly have been comfortable. And all the unnecessary knots she tied around your waist must have made breathing nearly impossible. But I'm glad she didn't let you suffer alone. How selfless of her to try out the latest fashion trend of form-fitting scarves to test their safety for you. Still, anyone could have told you how easy it was to end up strangling in the event it got caught on something. Such a waste of life just to get definitive proof of that, don't you think? I had also thought about hiring a new chef after he started experimenting with the usual dishes. The finer cuts of meat have gone up in price, but I don't find the flesh of my guests to be a suitable substitute. Years of stress leaves the flesh tough, so slow cooking is the best option. You'd think he would have known that too, and yet he ran straight into the fire, all in some failed attempt to get his hands on you. Whatever technique you use to dodge him seems to ensure a nice char on the meat. For future reference, please keep in mind that you are my guest and not expected to partake in any chores around the mansion. While I appreciate the thought of you making dinner for the rest of us, I wouldn't follow the chef's example. Well, you're a guest until your name is added to the will. At that point, this will be your home, and you'll have even fewer reasons to partake in the menial tasks expected for upkeep. If you hadn't run off. I could have told you sooner. But let's just say I've humored you and allowed you to give yourself a tour of the estate on your own terms. I'm sure you know every nook and cranny to hide under, but maybe we can go around together so you can take in the scenery without any worries of injury this time. I promise I'm a lot more gentle than my staff. Finding suitable replacements will be a challenge. I need people who can do their jobs while also making sure you stay safe. Unfortunately, the ones who have the sort of devotion to their work that I'm looking for are often the ones who lose themselves in their obsessions. And by giving them a target to focus on, it often has the unwanted result of developing into an object of desire. I could replace my staff as many times as I'd like, but we'd have to deal with several of the same issues we've been having right now, any time that you're out of my sight. There's always the option of hiring people who aren't as enthusiastic about their work, but I like the idea of having staff that see the value in you that I do. Maybe I need to make my expectations clear to them, as well as the consequences for thinking that by offering them residence, I'm allowing them to share in my lifestyle. They are not guests, nor family. I pay them to do a job, and I expect them to follow through with their contract. If they don't appreciate the good life I've given them, I can always rescind my offer, but they will owe the difference. I apologize that the decision for their termination had to come from you. Intentional or not, it takes some skill to manipulate someone into self-termination. Well, I promise you this. You don't have to be scared anymore, as long as you remain here by my side. That was always the intention of bringing you here. In a way, I am much like my staff. I couldn't resist you. The only difference is that the hunting stops the moment you agree to stay. I hate to think of the sort of things my staff planned to do with you had you gotten caught. I doubt their intentions were anything close to pure. I simply wanted someone to share my life with, not to take yours away. I pity you for what the world has done to you. So many years spent on learning things that don't matter. All of that energy put towards others who couldn't even give you back half in return. You would have willingly given up whatever you had left in you had you continued to live your old life. You saw what my staff were willing to do to you, but at least your death wouldn't have been drawn out. A few days of pain and fear versus years of soul-sucking mundanity. And yet, the outcome is the same. Your life doesn't have to be as depressing as this room right now. You'll soon have a home to enjoy without having to keep looking over your shoulder. This estate has belonged to my family for many generations, and I'd like for it to remain in our name for as long as it can be. Once you take my name, our ownership will continue. What other way could we become family? You wouldn't be kept here as staff. You've had more than enough contact with those sorts of people that I would have preferred. No more fear or pain from now on. I promised I would be gentle with you. I've wanted a family for a long time, with someone who could appreciate my wealth and hospitality despite the challenges that come with the behavior of my staff. And I think with time and certainty of your safety, you won't have to keep hiding and getting yourself into trouble. I want you to be comfortable in your home, so I ask that you stay by my side while we get you situated. It's to be expected that we will spend our time together once we truly become a family, so I'll be doing my part to get us there. But I also expect you to do yours. A family is supposed to love each other. And when you love someone, you don't run away from them. Ever.